Hello, lovely people. Good evening. I've just got back to my hotel. It's day 2, well, technically day 3 if you include the day I travelled. It's Tuesday evening, second full day of my holiday, and yeah, I've just got back to my hotel. It's late, it's coming up for 10 o'clock. Got back quite late. I came back from Alnmouth, Alnmouth, Alnmouth. And oh, it was stunning. Really cute little fishing village. Got quite a few amenities for such a small place. It had a couple of shops, local post office and convenience store, and then it had like 3 or 4 different pubs, and then a little harbour. Beach was just absolutely stunning. I have taken some videos, so I might put that up as a little short. Videos are taking so long to upload where I am. I've still got one that I filmed last night from my first day here, after I'd been to Lindisfarne, and I've decided not to even bother trying to upload it yet because the first video that I did, which was only I think 10 or 15 minutes on the night I first arrived, that took a whole 24 hours to load. So I don't know if it's just to do with the Wi-Fi here, but yeah, I'm probably going to have to release these videos when I get back home. I might try and upload last night's one after I finish filming this and just see. But if that one takes just as long, then I think I'll have to just leave any others until I get home. But yeah, I'm absolutely exhausted. Today I went to Chillingham Castle. I had a bit more of not a lay-in, I still got up. I woke up at 7:30 because on my first morning, because I wanted to go to Lindisfarne, I got up at 7. But last night I was like, I don't need to, I don't need to get up as early. And I was so done in because I'm not used to doing things. I'm such a hermit. I work at home and, I don't see another living soul. And then I go out at the weekend sometimes, but it's only usually to do like a food shop or, I might go for a walk on the beach or something, but I'm not somebody that does stuff that often. I just tend to be at home a lot. So yeah, for me to suddenly do all this driving and then all these visiting new places, it's really taking it out on me, but in a good way. It's like, it's nice to be busy tired, and yeah, Lindisfarne was amazing. But today, the castle was... I've been to lots of like manor houses and country houses and, castles and stuff in my years. And I have to say that Chillingham Castle is probably, well, it's a 10 out of 10, and it's probably up there as my favourite. I would actually say it's probably my favourite. It was absolutely stunning. It's still privately owned, and the gentleman that owns it, he's 89 now, bless him. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to the estate when he passes away. I'm hoping that it stays in the family. He does have other people in his family younger than him. He's got like descendants, so hopefully it will go to one of them. But he's put his heart and soul into this place. It was basically almost a ruin in the 80s, and he purchased it and has spent all these years trying to do it up. He managed to get a grant to replace the roof because there wasn't even a roof on it back in the 80s. It's got connections with the Earl Grey. I can't remember the name of the surname of the guy that currently lives there, but up until I think the 1930s, it was home of the Greys, And in case you don't know who that is, you'll know it when I say this. If you've ever heard of Earl Grey tea, that was a tea named specially after him. It was commissioned for him, a specific type of tea. And he also, well, say he, one of the Greys, going back to like the 1700s. I can't remember which one he was, but I think was it Earl Grey the second or something. I can't remember now. He was the one that had, if any of you have seen the film The Duchess with Keira Knightley, the Earl Grey is the Earl that the Duchess had an affair with. She's the one that she fell in love with, that politician. But yeah, that was Earl Grey. And it left that family in the 1930s. I can't remember why now. And all of the goods, all of the furniture and everything was all sold off in like an auction thing, and they just basically took all the furniture out onto the grounds on the lawn and like just sold it all off. And the guy that owns it now, he's an antique dealer, and he actually managed to acquire an antique mirror that used to be in the castle, and he managed to buy it back. So it's back after all of these years, so that was quite moving, really. So because it's had to be restored, all of the furniture in there is, apart from the odd pieces that he's been able to buy back, it's mostly from his family, and pieces that he's purchased over the years, you know, from like antique dealers. So none of it's like original, save for a few pieces. And then it had to have a whole new roof and a lot of reconstruction work. But it's just so atmospheric. It's not like one of these places you go to where you feel like you can't touch anything. You know, you can't, you know, everything's so pristine. You know, if you go to somewhere like Chatsworth House or, you know, any of sort of like the really, really nice country manners, that you sort of feel really out of place there, and you feel like, oh God, I daren't breathe in case I break something, you know. This was a rickety old medieval castle. It was built, I can't remember the exact year, but it's been there since the medieval period. And it smelled amazing. I know that might sound weird, but it just had this musty smell, this old musty castle smell, mixed with smoke, because they are still burning. Like some of the rooms still had fire, like real fires burning, because, you know, it's his private home, he lives there, but he obviously has a separate wing that is private for the family. But it was just stunning. The only thing I didn't like was there was a dungeon section which I did film, and the doorway to it was so tight. It was a really tiny, I mean, I'm only 5'2", and even I struggled. I had to duck to get in it, and then it was just this tiny little room with a sheer drop. There was obviously a grate over it now, but originally I don't think there would have been a grate. Or maybe there was, I don't know, but I think it was for, you know, people to obviously go to the loo if they were imprisoned in that room. It's just literally a hole in the floor. And I looked down through the grate, and at the bottom of the drop, there was a pile of human bones and a skull. I mean, I'm assuming it's fake, but it gave me the EBGBs. It was, and the whole castle had a real atmosphere to it. And they said it's like the most haunted castle in England or something. But it was absolutely fantastic. It's 10 out of 10. So atmospheric. And I couldn't help it. I ended up buying some souvenirs because it was so amazing. And there was lots of, I don't know why. I don't know whether the current owner has an affinity with bats, but there were bats everywhere. There was a bat on the, what do you call those things? Weather vane. There was a bat on top of the weather vane. There were stuffed bats. There was quite a lot of taxidermy inside. There was like stuffed bats on the wall. There were bat ornaments. There was this amazing, honestly, I wanted to ask more about it, but the guide who was like giving the information out to people, he was busy standing there talking to someone, and I was a bit pushed for time, so I didn't bother waiting around, but there was a cabinet full of china, like porcelain, like a dinnerware set, and it all had little bats on. And I was just like, that is so cool. But this is like an old set, and I'm thinking, I've never seen, because normally, like antique dinner sets are very girly, they're normally quite floral or oriental. To have bats on, it was really gothic. So yeah, right up my street. And it was amazing. And then after that, I went to Howick Hall, near the coast. Howick Hall, because Chillingham Castle was inland a bit, and then I headed back to the coastline to go to Howick Hall and Gardens. Beautiful grounds, probably would have been nicer had it still been early summer. Now that it's coming into autumn, a lot of the things are starting to die off, so I expect it would probably be more colourful if I'd have gone, a few weeks earlier. There was still lots of colour there, but things were starting to die off. They had a hydrangea garden. All of the grounds are separated off into separate gardens, and they had a hydrangea garden, and that was still in bloom. But again, some of them were dying off. So, and then they had a sensory garden, which was designed specifically for people on the spectrum, and that was fantastic. They had a woodland area. There was a church on the grounds, and I went in the church. I'm not religious particularly. I'm agnostic, but there's just always something about churches when you go inside. They make me feel very humble. I don't know why, but so yeah. Whilst I was in there, they had a like a, I don't know what you would call it. It was like a huge, like a vase, like a big glass vase, and it was full of water. And there was a tray of pebbles. And it said, drop a pebble in the water and say a prayer. So I did. I said a prayer for Charlie Kirk's family. And then I also said a prayer for one of my family members who's not very well at the moment. And yeah, it was really emotive being in there, actually. I was the only one, because I arrived late. I arrived at 4 o'clock, because Chillingham Castle took most of the day. Yeah, the grounds were open till 6, and the hall was open till 5. So I had an hour to do the hall, and then I thought, I've got an extra hour to then do the grounds. But to be honest, Howick Hall was a little bit disappointing. I'm glad I arrived late, because you definitely don't need a whole day there. I mean, if you take a picnic and you are more interested in just spending a day chilling in the grounds and going for woodland walks, because it's acres and acres and acres, like way more than I had time to do and would have had the energy to do either, because by this point, it was like 4 o'clock when I arrived, and I was already like really tired from going around the other castle. So, but yeah, I suppose you could make a day of it if you planned on staying in the grounds. But the hall, they've only got two rooms open to the public, so I assume the rest is still privately owned. But they've just literally got 2 rooms opened up on the ground floor, and to be honest, they were very plain. There was one of the rooms was really unusual, because it had hand-painted wallpaper of birds of paradise, little tropical birds on it, and they were all hand-painted. It reminded me a little bit of Chatsworth House has got wallpaper like that. And that was, obviously stunning to look at, but it was just 2 rooms. So it didn't take that long to do it. I think I was in there for about half an hour. And then, yeah, I spent the rest of my time there up until just before 6 o'clock. I think I left at about 10 to 6. Was just walking around the grounds, so, and then the church. So yeah, it was okay. It's just, I think, because Chillingham Castle was so amazing, and like there was only 2 rooms open at Howick, it kind of felt a bit disappointing. And to be honest, it was £11, and if I had spent more time there enjoying the gardens and been there with someone and like packed a picnic or whatever, then maybe it would have been worth the money. But I think the quick whirlwind tour that I did, and then only 2 rooms open, I think £11 is really expensive. But never mind. There was a really lovely couple at Chillingham Castle. I went into, they had this, I'm assuming it was probably one of the old kitchens, because there was more than one room that had like a range in and a huge giant medieval open like Inglenook style fireplace. So I don't know whether over the years they've had the kitchens located in different rooms or whether they just had more than one. I don't know, but for some reason there seemed to be several kitchen-esque rooms, and one of them's been turned into the cafe. And there was I've got a video of it which I'll post, but there was a roaring fire going, massive fireplace with a bench in front of it, and I was freezing because this castle is like a proper like drafty old castle, and even though I had my coat on, when you get so cold that it goes right to your bones and you just can't get warmed up, I was really cold. And luckily, just as I was going in, a couple, because it was packed in there, but the table right next to the fireplace just became available. The couple were leaving, so I quickly went over and nabbed it, and I had a piece of Victoria sponge cake and a pot of tea. And then there was this couple that I was talking to, an older couple. I seem to be chatting to a lot of people on this holiday, which is great, because I don't, obviously I've come on my own and I don't talk to people that much, so it's nice to sort of speak to different people. But this older couple, they were talking to me as we were going around the castle. We kept bumping into each other and we were sort of commenting on stuff. Anyway, I'm sat there on my own, and then they came in after a little while, and there was nowhere for them to sit, and they clocked eyes with me, and I just smiled and like waved at them, and I sort of beckoned them over, and I said, "Oh, come sit down." And then the waitress said, "Oh, that's really nice of you," and I said, "Oh, no, it's fine, they can come sit down with me, it's fine." So they come sit with me. So I ended up having lunch with this couple. They were called Sue and Fred. Was it Fred? Yeah, Sue and Fred. And they were lovely. And weird connection as well, because Fred's daughter, one of his daughters, lives in a town in Northamptonshire, and it's like the town next to where I used to live. And I was just like, what a small world. And they were from South originally as well, although we're much further south than I am. So it was just nice to have that connection, because we could talk about things and know what each other are talking about. And if I say a place name, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know where you mean," so that was nice. And then this evening I went to Alnmouth, had dinner. There were 3 pubs that I tried. Typically the first one I went in did food, but then when I looked at the menu it was pizza only, and it was like 15 quid for a pizza, and I'm not paying £15 for a pizza. So then I went to the second place, and they weren't serving food. They do, but not on that particular evening. And then the third one, I got lucky with the third one. I had it was penne pasta with chicken, mushrooms and bacon. And I don't normally eat pork, but it had little bacon bits in it, and I thought, because none of the other stuff on the menu I really liked the look of, and it was served in like a honey and mustard, like a creamy honey and mustard sauce. Oh my god, it was amazing, but I was stuffed afterwards. It came to 18 quid. But I swear it only said 14 on the menu. But they do takeaway there, because it's such a small village. You can get takeaway. So I'm assuming they do that to try and boost business. And I reckon that if I'd have said takeaway, it probably would have been 14 quid. But for some reason it came to £18, so I reckon they've charged me extra for eating in. But anyway. And then there was a service charge on top of this, and I was thinking, excuse me, this isn't America. We don't do service charges here. Or, very rarely. It's not the done thing. So I ended up paying like nine, and I just had, luckily I had a tap water, so that didn't cost me anything. The beach was absolutely out of this world. Really, really stunning beach at Alnmouth. And then it was a 50-minute drive home. Well, I say home, back to my hotel room. It was a 50-minute drive south back to Newcastle. I am absolutely exhausted and looking forward to getting some sleep. And it's my last full day tomorrow. I'm going home the day after. Tomorrow, I was going to do the military battery at Blyth, but apparently it's only open on weekends. So that's thrown a spanner in the works. In the morning, I'm going to go and do the Discovery Museum because that is only a 10-minute walk from my hotel. So, again, I'm going to have a bit of a chilled morning because I reckon I am going to ache like an absolute bitch in the morning. I already hurt 2 days of... yesterday I did 17,500 steps, and I haven't checked what I've done today, but it will be a lot. It's really taking its toll on me. So God knows what I'm going to feel like in the morning, but I'm not going to rush. And I'm going to do the museum. I'm going to walk to that, and then I'll head back to the hotel, pick my car up, and then drive the 10 minutes into the city centre. And I'll probably have lunch at Wetherspoons because there's Wetherspoons is cheap, and there's a car. I've checked on the map. There's a car park right there, so I shall probably park up, have my lunch, and then it's walking distance to. Because I'm right in the heart of the city centre, it's walking distance to all of the famous bridges that go across the River Tyne. And I really want to walk across, the famous bridge that kind of lights up at night. I want to walk across the bridge. And then I also want to go and check out, there's a monument statue dedicated to Earl Grey. So I'd like to go and check that out. And if I have time, I might do the cathedral. And then I want to head over in the afternoon to the coastline again and do Whitley Bay. And... is it Tynemouth? I think Tynemouth. Another action-packed day. And then it'll be home on Thursday. So I'm going to say, I haven't shown you what I've got. If I can, I've got my heat pad on at the moment. I've put my heat pad on my bed. And I'm just getting some heat to my back. I'm going to show you, I've got this stuff from the castle. For those of you who watched my video at the weekend where I had been shopping at Primark and bought myself a couple of baseball caps, and I said that I hadn't owned a baseball cap for absolute donkey's years, I've gone and bought another baseball cap. I've actually been really enjoying wearing my baseball cap this week, so now I have another one. I got, this is difficult with one hand, hold on. I got a Chillingham castle with the bat on it. So, yeah, I was quite chuffed with that. And then, what's that? Oh, that's the map of, there was the Howick Hall. This is Howick Hall Gardens and Arboretum. Is it Arboretum? Arboretum. That's what it looked like. That was Howick Hall, which was the second one that I did. From Howick Hall gift shop, because I like to get magnets when I go away places because they're a nice small token, a little memento of where you've been, and my fridge is covered in magnets from places I've been, so I got from Howick Hall gift shop, I just got this little Northumberland fridge magnet, which I thought was really cute. I have one actually in a similar style. I think it's by the same artist, Emma Ball. I've actually got a couple of her coasters at home. I got when I went to Scotland in July, I got a Scotland magnet, and it was in the same style as that. So I got that, and then another couple of things I got from Chillingham Castle. I got this little pewter bat keyring. I don't know what is that. That's not focusing very well, is it? Oh, he's around the wrong way. Hold on, there you go. I got a little bat keyring, hand cast in solid pewter. It's quite weighty. And then I got a really cool mug, which has all been wrapped up. So bear with me whilst I undo it one-handed. Oh, she's put bubble wrap on it. Hold on, I'm going to have to put you down a second. I didn't bring my tripod with me because I didn't really think I'd be doing any filming, but there we go. That is the mug I got. It's got bats on it. It says Chillingham Castle, and then it says the most haunted castle in England. And it's got the bats, and it's got the same the other way round the other side. But yeah, I just really like the font on it as well, and I thought it was really cool. Quite a nice gothic style mug, so that was the mug. And then I got a really cool t-shirt, so soft, because it's made by the company Gildan, and Gildan often make band shirts, and they're 100% cotton, and they're very good quality. I've got quite a lot of Gildan shirts at home of various bands. I'm probably not going to be able to show this to you very well lying down one-handed, so I'm going to lay it on me and then I'm going to try and see if you can see it. Hold on. Does that work? There you go, Chillingham Castle. It's basically the similar design as what was on the mug, and it's got the little bats. But yeah. So there you go. That was everything I got. My hair is so soft and shiny today. I used an oil, a hair oil, when I got out of the shower this morning, and but it's been up in a ponytail all day because I didn't want it, because when I left it, my hair was still wet, so I just scraped it back in a ponytail and put my cap on. And it's just, since I've been back, I take it out of the hair bobble, and it's just, I've got these lovely shiny little waves going on. Wish it was like that all the time. It's really soft as well. I think it must be to do with the water up here. It's a lot softer. I'm in a hard water area at home, so yeah, I'm going to enjoy having nice soft hair while I can. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I shall update you on my next adventure tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.